This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Good morning and welcome to today's episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have a great neighbor on with us, and that is the lovely Stevenson from Topspot Grooming. What's going on?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Some people say third time's a charm, but for us it only took two.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Well, super happy to have you on the show. Been looking forward to this one because I am a pet fan, as you are, and probably many listeners on the show as well. And so why don't we dive straight into it and tell the listeners a little bit more about your business?
Yeah, for sure. So I recently have opened my business in the Cedar Point Plaza, so Topspot Grooming. But I've been grooming for 15 years now, but this is going to be my first year at this location, and it's been good so far. So we're right off the highway, so it's been great. People can see our sign and get in there, so it's been really good.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit, because some people know grooming. Some people they think what they think that is in their mind. So let's unpack this. Let's go on a deep dive in the journey of grooming. Give us a little bit more about what kind of goes into your day-to-day. Yeah,
so a lot of people think they do know what grooming is, and it's a little bit more in-depth than that. So we have as simple as people just coming in for nail trims and no grooming appointments, and then we have people that are coming in for the full works and getting their dog made over. So we do a bath, and we do a brush out, get out all their dead hair, trim their nails, clean their ears. Sometimes they come out looking like a completely different dog. So it's good. And we have people that bring in like puppies that have never had grooming done before. So it's like learning from when they're just a puppy to learning what the whole grooming process is. So we do like intro to grooming for puppies where they just kind of come in and learn what the noises are and that kind of thing. So it can be completely different for whatever kind of dog it is. So
can every dog get grooming?
I believe that every breed can benefit from professional grooming.
I've seen some dogs in places, businesses that do grooming professionally, and there's the ones that if you don't get it done, then they can't see anymore because it just keeps going over their hair. Do you get a lot of those?
We do, yeah. So most of the dogs that come in for grooming are dogs that need their hair cut. So like poodles, Shih Tzus, so the hair that keeps growing. So those ones are the ones that come in on a regular basis. But we do dogs with like really short hair that just need like a de-shedding package, or someone that just needs a good bath or something like that. So a lot of dogs around like cottage season that come back from being muddy or smell like the lake, just come in for like a refresher. So we don't bring all that sand into their house. Right.
You getting a lot of animals coming in for the de-shedding this time of year?
Yeah, this is a big, busy time of year for de-shedding. So see a lot of huskies, golden retrievers, everybody with that undercoat, because as soon as it starts to get warm, they want to drop all that hair.
Yeah, I've got a Australian Shepherd chilling right over there outside that door. And my house is like a fluff ball.
I was going to say, you know what that undercoat's like then.
Oh my God, yeah, it's just mad. Yeah. Swiffer is not even like a word. Like, you Swiffer, and then like 2 days later, you got to do it all over again. It's like you never did it. It's wild this time of year.
I know. Yeah, it is. My sister has a collie cross, and that kind of seems to be. She's got like the Roomba. I think it just follows the dog around all day. Drop that hair all the time.
So everybody's got a bit of a different story when it comes to doing what they're doing. Some people born and have been doing it or been thinking about it ever since they were super young, and other people start doing something else and find their passions later in life. And so I'm curious to ask you, tell our listeners a little bit about your journey and how and why did you get into doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I've always been like an animal lover my whole life. We've always had animals growing up, and I have horses, and I've always worked with animals, but when I was a kid, I used to think I wanted to be a vet, and I really wanted to be a veterinarian, and that's what I thought I was going to do. But I find I'm just like a little bit too, which I think a lot of dog groomers are, we're very like empathetic. And I think that working with animals when they're sick on the veterinary side of it, I don't know if I would be able to do it. So I enjoy working with animals in more of like a positive way. So I find with grooming, I don't have to deal with them on the sick aspect or having to deal with someone that would have to put their dog down, things like that. think I'm just a bit too emotional for that. So I like to deal with them on the grooming side where they get to come see me and they're excited to see me, and it's more of a positive aspect.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm totally the same way. You even look at humans when they're, doing stuff like police officers, firefighters, paramedics. There's a lot of jobs that are out there that are really, really difficult to do because it weighs in your mind, weighs on your psyche. That takes a very kind of special person to be able to handle, a lot of that stuff. I certainly, if I was in your realm, I'd be a groomer as well. I don't think I'd ever be able to be a vet. Plus, I got this trait from my mom, and I kind of pass out in hospitals or when I see blood and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be good for me.
Yes, like by no means do we not see sad cases as groomers. Like I do a lot of work with rescues, so we do see dogs on like the more neglected end of things, and we see some gross things. So there's some dogs that have some dirtier aspects of the grooming thing for sure, but on 99% of my day, it's more of a positive interaction we get with dogs. But there is some of the sadder things when we deal with rescues or dogs that have been surrendered and things like that, like puppy mill dogs and things. But still, on my thing, I get to kind of shave them down and give them a new lease on life, and they feel better afterwards.
Oh, that's very good. Tell us, are there any myths or misconceptions in your line of work?
So I think a lot of people think that grooming is that they don't need to have their dog groomed if they have like a short-haired dog or something like that, which you can very much do it at home on your own, but I think any dog can benefit from professional grooming, so we can groom any kind of coat of dog. And then a lot of things too for grooming, people are like, oh, grooming costs more than my hair does and things like that, but we do a full thing. So like when you go to get your hair done, you're not getting a manicure, pedicure, a full body bath, a haircut everywhere, things like that. So I think a lot of people think that grooming might be a little bit more expensive than they think it is or not necessary, but I think it benefits the health of the dog.
You mentioned a few times now, I want to ask you because I'm curious. You said like any dog can benefit from grooming. And so what would those benefits be?
So a healthy coat, things like that. So like a short-haired dog that you might not think would need grooming. When we do our baths, we're getting all that dead skin off. We're getting their nails trimmed shorter than you would at home. They're getting their ears cleaned. So it just helps with getting all that dirt and stuff off their skin can helping get the dead coat out. So things like that. So it can kind of help them have more of a shinier and healthier coat. And we also at groomers see things that you wouldn't normally see. Like we see your dog every 2 to 3 months. So we see like new growths and things like that. So there's a lot of times that we'll point out things to the owners, like lumps and bumps that you might not notice at home because we've seen them, like we're touching your dog everywhere. So I've had a few clients where I've found lumps and bumps that they didn't really know about, and they've had it checked at the vet, and it's been preventative things like that. So I think just having someone have their hands on your dog and feeling them over everywhere can be very beneficial.
I would imagine that's also beneficial for like fleas and ticks and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. There's lots of times where people have come in and we've had to call them and say, oh, your dog has a tick, and they've had no idea that the dog's had a tick, and they didn't notice it, and it's been kind of growing this massive tick on their dog's ears, things like that.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Ticks are nasty, gross, dude.
So, yeah, just things that you don't normally see, I think, can benefit, and a lot of people don't realize, like, the ear cleaning and things like that can be really beneficial.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, that's always good. I mean, it's like kind of like a full service, like a pre-health preventative type of thing. When you get your dog to go in there, it's good for the skin, good for their coat, and especially if you're getting the de-shedding, less hair in your home.
Yeah, for sure. And nails too, like older dogs, if their nails are too long, it can help with like arthritis and things like that. They get a better grip and they're
really?
better. Yeah, so if their nails are too long, it can kind of change the way that their gait is, so it can hurt their feet if their nails are too long, and have they slide around a little bit more, things like that. So. Oh,
interesting. Yeah, I never knew that.
Lots of benefits.
Very cool. Okay, so I think you know me long enough. I'm a kind of guy who likes to have a lot of fun. I like to try to have that work-life harmony going on. And you have to have that kind of that balance. Everybody likes to have fun. So I'm curious, when you're not working on your business or in your business, what do you like to do for fun?
So I play a lot of baseball, so that's coming up right now. So baseball season will be starting soon. So I play on about 4 different baseball teams. So
You're out
I
of here.
play, yeah, so that keeps me busy. And then I also have horses. So when I'm not doing with the dogs, I'm usually riding my horses or training my horses. So that's my biggest passion would be that. So I spend a lot of time on the farm.
Okay, whereabouts is the farm?
Just outside of Barrie, Rainbow Valley Road, like Elmville way.
Yeah, I know Rainbow Valley Road. My youngest sister, Chantal, she rides horses as well. She rides horses up in that particular area, and she's also got a group of girls that do trail rides and stuff like that down in the Newmarket area. She actually just went on Sunday, and she actually messaged the girls herself. She went for a lunch. She went for about an hour and a bit. And she gets to go ride, and she also gets lucky for that one. She gets to ride for free, nonetheless.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, so it's great. It's like a very good de-stressor hanging around horses all day. So it's nice. And there's lots of beautiful trails up all around here, like anywhere around Simcoe County. So we can just go out and ride for hours, and it's beautiful. So especially this time of year when everything starts melting.
Totally. Now, I'm not overly familiar with the type of different breeds of horses, but I do understand what they mean when they say hands. And which measures, for those who don't know, measures how many hands equals how high the horse is if you're going to put your hands and keep stacking them up. She rode one 17 hands high, and it was the biggest horse in the group. So when people are, you're in the trail, people are just kind of tilting their neck, ducking for branches, where like Chantel's literally like laying on the horse because it's so high. She's like, my back hurt after a while because I had to just keep bending over so that I didn't get smacked by a branch and get knocked off the horse.
I feel her pain. My horse is also quite large. So
Nice. What kind?
So he is part Clydesdale and part thoroughbred. So like the Budweiser horses. Yeah, so he's a big boy, so I have to duck a lot on the branches as well. And then my other horse is part Percheron, so also a big drafty kind of horse. So they're large.
Yeah, so the thoroughbred and the Clydesdale, I actually know those breeds. The last one that you mentioned, I didn't. What color is your second horse?
So right now she's a darker gray, but she'll eventually be like a white. So horses, when they're gray, they're born dark, and then they get lighter and lighter. So right now she's darker, but she'll end up being a lighter white.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
So big baseball girl, eh? Are you in the outfield when you're playing on D? Are you in the infield? What position do you play?
The infield. I usually either play first or third, so corners.
Nice. I was a big outfield guy when I was playing. I ended up tweaking, like I partially ripped my meniscus running the base pads because clearly I was out of shape. So it's like a weird sport too, where like you always get these weird injuries. So like I had to stop playing because the risk of either doing something to my knee or getting something like that, it forced me to stop. But when I was playing, I found that third base was my sweet spot. So I like to dive. Yeah. So that defensive kind of play at third base was I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's nice. I find I don't have as strong an arm as I used to have, so throwing it in from the outfield, the older I get, I like to be closer.
We're kind of getting into that realm now, are we?
Right, yeah.
So are you playing like in a co-ed league? Is it girls only league? What kind of league?
The couple teams I play on are co-ed, and then the one team I play on is actually like a all ladies. It's fast pitch, so the other ones are like a slow pitch, and then the ladies league is a fast pitch, so it's a little bit more competitive.
Wow, nice. Yeah, and you're playing you're not playing softball, you're playing baseball.
Yeah, so it's good. It's fun. It's the ladies league up in Springwater, so it's nice.
Oh, very nice. Awesome stuff. Okay, we'll switch gears a little bit here. I always preface this question and say, sometimes in life we can't necessarily, we try to pick a path, but sometimes life will yank us off that path and put us on a different one. Sometimes you're dealt a deck of cards and you're kind of forced to play that. But what's remarkable is the resilience that I feel like human beings have of being able to overcome these challenges in life, these hardships that we experience. And so I'm curious to ask if you've ever experienced a hardship or a life challenge that you overcame from that, and maybe some silver linings from that.
I mean, like business-wise, I've been fairly lucky when it comes to that. But I did, I guess the biggest hardship I've kind of had with my business is I have moved around a lot. So I was actually living down in the States for a little bit. So I was going back and forth, and then I moved my business from like home base to 2 different houses, and now to where I am. So I have been lucky that most of my clients have followed me, but that was a little bit of a hardship, kind of moving location to location. So I think that's been the toughest thing we've had. But luckily, knock on wood, a lot of my clients have followed me to my different locations, so that's been nice. But now that I'm in more of a storefront location, I feel a little bit more like permanent and settled. So that's been really good.
Yeah, I can like throw a stone to your business from my house as well too. You're like right down the hill, so that's always kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice to be a little bit more permanent and not be shifting around. So I feel like that makes me feel a bit more settled.
No, totally. I mean, once you can kind of plant your roots, you get to focus on a lot of different things without having those unknowns. Because I'll tell you, I've moved 5 times in 4 years. I mean, this is, a personal moving is moving at the end of the day, and moving sucks.
It does, yeah. It really does.
So what's one thing that you wish our listeners knew about your business?
Well, I guess now that I've moved into a new spot, I'm hoping they know where I am. So I'm hoping to get some more exposure, especially now that I can be in the plaza and seen from the highway. So just that everybody knows where I am in the Cedar Point Plaza. That's a big thing. And that, that we're open for all different breeds, all different sizes. We also offer cat grooming as well now. So I have a girl come on that's doing cat grooming, so we can do dogs and cats. So that's a new thing we've been doing. So that's really exciting.
Is there any difference between like grooming a dog versus a cat, or is it like the same stuff?
Oh, very well. I mean, it's the same steps, but cats are a whole different. I like to say cats is like kind of like diffusing a bomb. Like the whole time you're like, just be cool. Like don't cut the red wire. You just have to like stay calm the whole time with cats. And like some cats are great for grooming and they have been groomed their whole lives and they love it. But like when a dog doesn't like something, you can kind of get it over with, and then you can distract them and give them a treat or be excited, and dogs just kind of can bounce back from being upset usually. Where cats, once you kind of tick them off, it's game over. They will remember what you did to them for the next 20 years.
Oh my God, that's a crazy, man. I could just imagine. Like you look at it the wrong way, next thing you know, pow, just smacking you.
So I groom cats, but I don't love grooming cats. So I have a girl that comes in and she's a saint because she's great with cats, and they seem to listen to her. So so we do it on. I've been doing it now on Sundays. One Sunday a month we do Cat Day, and we don't have any dogs in the building, so it's nice, and we just keep it nice and calm, and it's all cats because when we have dogs and cats in there, I find the cats smell the dogs, the noise of the dogs. So we do it on Sundays when there's no dogs in there, and it's been successful so far. We've had the cats come in and they haven't been as stressed out, so it's been good.
Yeah, I guess you're keeping it kind of consistent too, where I would imagine going from dog to cat versus just kind of having one day where you're like, all right, let's gear up.
Yeah.
And
It's nice. Like you can have just cats in there, and some cats people just come in just for cat nail trims because like it's hard for people to do their cats at home. So they just come in and we do the nail trims. Sometimes they come in just for like a shave all over. Some people get them done in called like a lion cut and they get them shaved, and other people just get them spot shaved. Sometimes older cats like they stop grooming themselves as much, so when they get older they need a little bit of help just to kind of get any mats or cleaning up done. So
awesome.
It's good so far.
So if anybody's interested and wanted to know a little bit more, wanting to maybe come and get their dog or their cat groomed at your business, what's the best way that they can go ahead and get a hold of you?
Yeah, so they can either call or text our number, which is 705-896-2733, or we have a Facebook page, it's Topspot Grooming, or Instagram, which is Stephanie and then _ Topspot Grooming.
Phenomenal. Well, thank you so much for doing this. That was a lot of fun. Great person, great business, and really happy to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com, or call 705-413-3775.